Hey everyone, Matthew here from MiniWarGaming. Today I want to talk about something that has seriously changed the way I experience this hobby over the years. Miniature wargaming events. Whether it's massive conventions, immersive narrative weekends, or local tournaments, there's something powerful about stepping away from your home table and diving into the real world community. Let me start with this. I believe that every miniature wargamer should attend at least one event in their lifetime. Maybe, ideally, once a year. There's a kind of magic that happens when you gather in the same space as hundreds or even thousands or tens of thousands of other people who love the same thing that you do. It can recharge your enthusiasm, it can expand your perspective, and reconnect you with the heart of the hobby. Now, this video is sponsored by the Las Vegas Open 2025. More on that in a moment. Over the years, I've had the chance to attend a wide variety of events. Each one has its own flavor. Gen Con is absolutely massive. Honestly, it's almost too big. The vendor hall is overwhelming in the best way, but the sheer volume of people can make it a bit exhausting. Nova Open, on the other hand, is more manageable in size, and the quality of events is top tier. It's a great balance between competitive and casual experiences. Then, of course, my personal favorite right now is the Grand Narrative. That's something else entirely. I've been part of it for all 3 years that it's been running, and I plan on going again for a 4th year. I'm even still planning to recruit as many people as possible to join me in bringing the largest Tyranid Hive fleet ever. Go to miniwargaming.com/nihilus for full details, link in the description below. It's a small group, fully immersive, just a few hundred people, and it delivers a truly cinematic narrative experience. If you want to feel like your games are telling a story that matters, it doesn't really get better than that. Of course, Adepticon is probably the most well-known, at least here in North America. It's got a great balance of everything. Tournaments, skirmish games, big vendor hall, hobby seminars, narrative events, everything. It feels like the most complete miniature wargaming event that I have ever attended. And of course, I've been there as a vendor a few times, which we'll talk about a little later in this video. And then of course, there's LVO, the sponsor of this video, which has grown like crazy. What used to be more of a competitive focus event has now turned into a full convention experience. And with the move to their huge new venue, it's only getting better. Narrative games, hobby, cosplay, vendors, and even trading card games now. It's no longer just for the tournament crowd. Let's talk about them for a second as a sponsor. I really want to give a shout out to them because they are sponsoring this video. LVO 12 is happening this October 2nd to 5th, 2025, and it's going to be massive. For the first time, it's moving to the Expo at World Market Center in Las Vegas with over 300,000 square feet of space. That's 3 times bigger than before. You'll find everything from massive tournaments like the 40K Champs and Star Wars Legion, to narrative events like the Horus Heresy, to the debut of trading card game tournaments. There are painting competitions, cosplay contests, hobby seminars, a massive vendor hall, and of course some great parties. And yes, there are exclusive previews and reveals from the big players in the industry. Here's the fun part. If you sign up for the LVO's newsletter, you'll be automatically entered to win a free tournament ticket of your choice. Head on over to miniwargaming.com/LVO for full contest details and to enter. The contest does end August 31st, so make sure you enter before that. All right, let's get back to it. When I go to events, I'm not there for the tournaments, personally. I go for the narrative experiences. Playing in the Grand Narrative has been one of the most fulfilling things I've done in the hobby. I also really enjoy playing skirmish games. I actually went to Adepticon one year with my son and played Necromunda Ash Waste, and it was a blast. But beyond playing, I love walking the vendor halls. I always come home with something new, whether it's terrain, new models, tools, or just a cool hoodie or t-shirt. There's something about seeing all that gear in person that gets my hobby brain fired up. And of course, we've gone as vendors too, especially for Ravaged Star or our terrain lines or other miniatures. That experience is totally different, and I'll talk about that too a little later in this video. One aspect of these events that often gets overlooked is cosplay. I love seeing people dressed up as Space Marines, Inquisitors, Orcs, Chaos, or whatever else they decide to come as. It adds a ton of personality to the event. Last year at the Grand Narrative, I even dressed up as a Genestealer cultist Biophagus. It was fun, tiring at times, carrying all that gear around, but allowed me to really connect with the story and the community in a completely new way. So if you're into cosplay, boy, these events are a great place to show off. And of course, LVO leans into this too with cosplay contests and support for people who want to bring that extra flair to the event. One of the most powerful things I've personally experienced at events is meeting people who watch our videos. It's honestly humbling and incredibly motivating. Getting to shake hands, hear stories, and just chat with fellow hobbyists reminds me why we do what we do at MiniWarGaming. Now I get it, going to events isn't always easy. Time off work, travel distance, hotel costs, ticket prices, it adds up. And there's always that lingering question, is it really worth it? And in my experience, heck yeah, it absolutely is. Even just once a year. The energy you get from being surrounded by people who love the same thing as you is unlike anything else. It can completely reinvigorate your hobby. Now, if you're thinking of going to your first event, here are some quick tips to make your experience better. First, make sure you drink lots of water. You're gonna need that. While you're there, try not to just eat junk food. It's so easy to grab the chicken wings or the subs or whatever else it happens to be. But after a few days of that, you're going to really notice a difference in your energy level. Along with that, make sure you get enough sleep. So get to bed at a decent time, wake up at a decent time, try to exercise while you're there, especially if your hotel has a gym. Even if it's just something simple like going for a walk, you need to make sure you keep that energy going because it can really wear you out. Make sure you take breaks during the day. Don't burn yourself out. And also, really don't overbook your schedule. Make sure you do plan to do something. So I would also say the opposite, don't go there with nothing to do. Even the big events, you'll probably find that only one day is all you need to really go through the vendor hall. So you wanna make sure you do have something booked, but don't overbook yourself. Leave at least one day to just wander around. And it's not just the vendor hall either. Wandering around to just go through the tournament halls and the narrative halls and see everybody's awesome armies, to chat with people, to look at cosplay. Give yourself time to do that. And if you are bringing armies, pack them securely. Broken models can kind of slow you down here. But also, one thing I've really found really helps me, and I had to go a few times before I thought of this, is to bring some sort of trolley or cart that you can move your armies around in. It makes a humongous difference rather than carrying around the backpacks or your carry cases. Now let me talk briefly about being on the other side of the table. Being a vendor at these events is expensive. Booth fees, staff wages, travel costs, manufacturing products to sell, it adds up fast. And to be honest, it doesn't always turn a profit. For us, it's also about exposure, meeting customers and showing off what we're building. But when you're there, especially the smaller vendors, but also the medium to larger size ones, you want to consider supporting them. It really does make a difference. Every purchase, every conversation, every bit of engagement helps, especially these indie creators survive and grow. And let's face it, even the larger ones are still really indie creators. They're not enormous companies. And heck, even if you're there to see people from Games Workshop, they are fantastic to deal with and they're just so much fun to talk with. Every time I go to an event, I come back fired up. I want to paint more, I want to build terrain, I want to write rules and film new campaigns. It's a jolt of energy that lasts for months. It also gives me new ideas. I see what people are excited about, what games they're playing, and what kinds of models and terrain are catching attention. It shapes the direction of MiniWarGaming content more than people might realize. There's something incredibly powerful about being in a room full of people who get you, who understand what it means to spend 10 hours painting a squad, or why a narrative arc matters in a game. Feel like you belong. You find your tribe. And that's not just emotionally satisfying, it's creatively recharging. Events have come a long way since I first started attending. I remember the games days back in Toronto. A good time, but pretty simple by today's standard, and yet still a lot of fun to attend. Now, terrain standards are through the roof. Narrative experience are fully fleshed out. Indie creators are everywhere, doing fantastic jobs making awesome models, terrain, and games. And the big players at Games Workshop are using events to reveal major new products. They're all in on these too. LVO is a perfect example of this evolution. It's gone from a primarily competitive 40K event to a full-fledged convention with narrative tracks, cosplay, TCGs, and a full lifestyle experience. The fact that they tripled their venue space says it all. So let me end with this. You don't need to go to every event, but go to one, just one. Find one that fits your style, whether it's competitive, narrative, casual, vendor focused. Go there, soak it in, meet people, play games, and rediscover why you fell in love with this hobby in the first place. And if you want to try the Las Vegas Open this October, make sure to sign up for their newsletter at miniwargaming.com/LVO and get your name in the draw for a free ticket. Drop a comment below if you've been to an event that changed your perspective, or if you're still wondering if it's worth it. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming.